Okay, so right now we're on tool number 5. You see that tool number 5 is the one facing down parallel towards the bed. I'm going to call up the red tool, which is tool number 1, so type in T101. That section with the missed steps, that's the stepper motor backing up against the PAWL, P-A-W-L, which locks the axis down, or the rotary table. Now if I go T201, should advance at one position, and we'll come back, there's the click, and back up against it, and T501, only issue that I'm running into right now is the stepper motor is very hot, very warm. We'll have to figure out what's going on there, and then next is working on that, bringing in 12 volts from our power supply. This is the setup so far. It looks like a jumbled mess. It is a jumbled mess. Plan to clean it up really soon. Right now, I'm just running off of pins 1 and 2 on the DB9 connector, the 9-pin connector. That's this green and black wire here, and coming off of there I actually have spindle control. But interesting thing, if you look here, if I turn on the spindle, it will not turn it on until the lid is closed and this solenoid activates. There is a, right here on the lid, right up here, a magnet and a latch, so it hits that Hall effect sensor down there, and the spindle is allowed to turn on. You see that there's actually a pulley on the left side going up towards an encoder. I can't seem to read accurately off of the encoder. Plan to swap that out. But that's under CNC control, so if I tell it to up the spindle speed by 500, it brings it up. I also have control off of the switch, spindle speed switch. You can go to manual and control it manually. Right now it has a range of about 5,000 RPM, close to it at least, using, that's not at max, that's about 75% of max. You see it's 3,400. If I go up even higher, sounds kind of crazy. See what the max is. That's all the way at the top. 4187. There is a set of pots down there. Let me turn this back off. There are a set of potentiometers back there. You can see one says IR comp. Not sure if that's infrared compensation off of the encoder. If you would turn it, it does adjust the spindle somewhat. The other one is torque, must be adjusting a current, must be a current limiter of some sort. The next one is minimum speed, and you heard that as I turned the spindle on, there was actually the original, when I first turned it on, there was no spindle speed set. So I brought that up so that it tries not to stall out the motor. The next one is max speed. As you adjust that, it brings up the maximum spindle speed for obvious reasons. And then signal adjust is the bottom one. Sig adjust. Haven't quite figured that out. I think that it limits or adjusts the input range in terms of voltage. So hopefully, from what I've read, if that's true, I should be able to pull 12 volts off of the computer, off of the rail of the computer, run it through an NPN transistor, and send it through and let my PWM still connect to it and talk to it, so it switches 12 volts rather than the 5 volts coming straight out of the parallel port. But so far we're making progress. All the axes move. I can open the lid up now. Both axes move. I jog them. jog on. For some reason, it doesn't want me to jog. They do move. I have to figure out what I did wrong here. Must have bumped, maybe I bumped something down here. That's the problem with having such a mess. But the axes move. I can read the limit switches. There's a limit switch right underneath, right up here, I believe. At the top, on the back side of this, there's a limit switch. You can barely see it right here for the x-axis. There is no actual back position switch. I may move this so that it becomes a home switch back there at this end, and get rid of the tailstock, because everything I plan to cut is not going to need the tailstock. And then the other limit switch is, oh yeah, here it is. It's in the back here somewhere. I also have control of, oh, my mock locked up, that's what it is. For some reason I'm getting some sort of back signal. Turn that off. Right now, in order to run the CNC for PC board, this is the C10 board, parallel port, I'm just using a DC power supply, running it at 5 volts to turn this on. Let's see now. See if I can jog my axes. There we go. There's that. And then if this light, I believe it is still connected until it's still turned on. Go in here, let's just see what pin I'm running it on. See if I can turn it on. Enable. There we go. Can actually turn the light on. I have two two relays in this box that will allow me to turn on 2 120 volt systems. Right now I just have the light just for simple testing. I may actually put a light up in there at the top. I don't know. Once I get the rest of this area figured out, we'll figure that out. But that's the status right now. Thanks.